Hello, everybody, and thank you all for joining. I'm Carmel. I'm the founder of our digital wellness community, Desperately Seeking, or just DS, and I welcome you all to our sixth and final Str Expert Session for this season. If you're just tuning in now for the first time, worry not. You can recap everything that happened, literally everything so far, at our LARP page on our website. That is desperately seeking .online/LARP. More seasons are edited, more sessions, are edited and uploaded to the archive every once in a while. In addition, you can also watch all the trailers, teasers, and backstage sessions there. To introduce this event, I would like to start on a personal note. To those of you who have been following, you should be aware that in the last 2 sessions, I pushed hard to motivate our guests to discuss the elephant in the room. The name of this elephant is JJ. And as you know, desperately seeking has recently came under fire, accused of becoming an apocalyptic cult because of this. I was even taken in by authorities last year for interrogation. Unfortunately, every guest we had here so far has confirmed my suspicions that desperately seeking has become a cult or even a number of network cults. But still, each time I ask who is behind this, the guests keep twisting things or forgetting basic facts when it's just convenient to them. Last time, Gabby, you even mocked me at the very end.
I did not mock you. I merely brought it up at the end. So don't twist my words. Now you're the one twisting things, Komet. It's I was actually doing this out of respect towards you. So
never mind. Anyways, you know, a decade ago, my cousin vanished off the face of the earth, just like that. Her name is Yarden Jacobi or Jordan Jacobi, or in short, JJ. But I'm sure she's still alive, and I'm sure she's the one behind all of this. I'm sure because I keep having this strangest dreams about her. Because sometimes Shatter and people talk funny. Everyone makes me feel like I'm crazy. When I'm not crazy, I'm not. And the goal of desperately seeking has always been to help you find what you're looking for, but nobody's helping me find what I'm looking for. So this time, I decided to take things into my own hands. And usually I consult with the group on who to invite, like which expert guest to bring in. But I knew you would look at me funny, so I went alone and reached out to your then parents, and I got the contact of our guest today, JJ High School counselor Yifaat Nefesh. And Gabby, thank you for earlier explaining what it means in Hebrew. Her name, I think, is very important, and it's very important the fact that you are here with us, and I really want to thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yifaat, I hope it's okay. I tell our audience that it wasn't easy to bring you. You actually turned me down first and only agreed to participate in this event if it's held in Jerusalem on New Year's, even though you live far away. Would you like to explain why?
Yeah, sure. I'm also a parapsychologist or a digital witch or a virtual mysticist or whatever you want to call it. And Jerusalem now is where the energy is currently strongest. So this is why I asked us to be here.
Right. So despite safety concerns in the holy city due to the flooding and quirks, and Gabby luckily managed to convince 01 Festival to hold the event on location and not just online. Gabrielle, I know neither you or the festival were given a proper explanation. So thank you this, and thank you also Daniel and Jair from the festival for agreeing to this.
Yeah. Yes, I guess it worked out all right. Um, I very interesting choice of guest, Kalamel. Once again, I am sorry if you misinterpreted what I said last time. By the way, I'm hope you're not getting too much of this drone sound in the background. It keeps bleeding in. We're trying to block it here, at least for the people on Zoom. Hope the signal is not too loud. It's just what's happening right now in Jerusalem. It's just everywhere. But yeah, anyway, I guess today worked out, especially seeing that we now have 21,653 people watching, no less. And this is by far the largest number of viewers we ever had.
Yes, that's indeed impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still feel weird. Never mind. So, but before we move on, I have a few questions. First let's do some announcements.
Okay.
So a general note to those of you who are here that were brave enough to leave your homes and come to Jerusalem, which is currently, as we've mentioned, a very high risk location. I'm sorry to say there have already been minor casualties. We hear of new water eruption by the hour. Special forces are working to restrict the impact, and we're closely monitoring any new development. We will keep you informed, but please obey regulations, especially avoid any water sources unless you absolutely have to. And by that, I mean including the venue's toilets. Second thing, as you all know, not only the ground is shaking, it's also the web is practically down. This is because of the rent virus, yeah, that is turning all of the internet into gibberish. But we hope our service won't crash, and in hopes that they don't, after the panel, we will be opening the floor to an open discussion with all of you who are here. I myself monitoring the DS forum, the community channel Gabriel mentioned earlier, and Gozde, aka Big Sis. We'll be taking all of your responses. Rosa, say hi again.
Hello.
In case they haven't seen your wave. So please don't be shy. People on Zoom, you can either send a chat comment or signal to those there that you want to open your camera. People in Jerusalem, step to the microphone in the front of the camera and signal to us that you want to speak. I otherwise wish us all finally and fruitfully and a truthful conversation. So let's begin. Maybe Gabi, I'll let you bring some questions before.
Okay, I guess the first, I guess now we give the word to Yifaat. So yeah, I guess the first thing that comes to my mind, if you could please introduce yourself, a bit more about maybe your background, your work education. I understand from Komel, she mentioned something about you being a counselor, also school counselor, that is.
Yes, it's true. My career went through a lot of different, paths. In the past, I actually used to be a theater teacher. I started as a theater teacher, and then I went to study educational counseling. I was a counselor, and then I had a change in my career. And today you can say that I'm, as I said before, a parapsychologist or a digital mysticist or a digital witch, whatever you like. Anyway, I believe that the internet has some kind of energy that you can harness to do actual magic in the physical world and the opposite. And I do all kinds of practical magic for people online or using the power of digital devices and internet. We all need to make a living.
So how well exactly did you know JJ, and how much of this kind of conversation did you had? I mean, about the web.
So I was the counselor at Revivim school that Yarden went to. So I met her regularly for some time. There was a time that I thought that I knew her quite well, and she told me about her life and her dilemmas. I also spoke to her mother, tried to make her go to send Yarden to therapy that I thought she really needed, but her mother wouldn't agree, of course. But then, Yarden's situation got worse, and there was the event that happened later, and she stopped talking to me eventually. We didn't actually talk about practical digital magic at the time because, of course, I myself wasn't into that field at the same time.
Okay.
I have another question in mind, unless you have a question, Yoza.
Well, actually, I have a tiny question. We've been talking about JJ. I don't think I ever met her unless she was in one of the workshops we've been leading with Gorm. I'm just wondering if you could give me a little sense of what was she like? How was JJ like?
Well, at first when I met her, she was a very shy young girl. She always had her earphones on, her hoodie on, she didn't speak much in class, didn't have any friends, would sit alone every day. This is why her teacher sent her to me, because she identified she might have some kind of social difficulties that we need to work about together. And at first she wouldn't talk to me either, but then I discovered she had a really great talent. She was really good with computers, and she really loved to draw. You know, these anime Japanese kind of comic with she used to draw like these girls with big eyes and very like exaggerated colored hair, and she used to watch all these really violent shows. Like I remember she watched this show about a girl who killed her family, and she killed them and she cut them apart and then she sewed them together so they could be the perfect family. And I guess it's obvious because she had a lot of problems with her family. Her dad wasn't in the picture. Well, he was abroad, but like practically he didn't have any connection with her, and her mother was always busy. So but she really wanted to change. She really wanted to have friends from school, and we started working on that. And I tried to help. I let her do the set for the Holocaust memorial ceremony, because she knew how to draw so well, and also talk to the computer teacher at our school, so she could help him in classes. And I wanted to, enhance her abilities and show that she has strength and she has power and she can do things, and it helped a bit for a while. And outside of school, I only knew her from school and how she behaved there. But she told me she got into this new social network, and she's uploading videos and writing about herself and her life, and she has all these new friends, and she doesn't need the kids from class anymore because they don't know her that well anyway. And I was worried. You can't really know who are you talking to online, and you don't know who's on the other side of the screen. So I tried to ask her about it, and tried to talk to her about, digital friends aren't really your friends. There's like, you don't really know them. You need to see people to meet them in person to actually know them.
What do you mean,
but she only
friends? Yeah.
She only said that her online friends are realer, and she used to talk to them a lot and fall asleep at school because she wouldn't go to sleep early. It changed her. It actually changed her, I think.
I have a question following up on that. So you mentioned that she had personal problems before, but you also mentioned an event. You mentioned something pretty dramatic that happened. What went down?
So I'm sorry to talk about these subjects in front of Carmel. I know that you were close, but
this is why I have Gabriel and Gosda here. They help sometimes ask the harder questions.
Okay, so well, it started when Yarden told me that no one in her class is talking to her anymore. When I tried to ask her why is that, she didn't answer. She didn't want to talk about it. So one day I got a message from an unknown number with a video on it. And when I opened it, I saw that it was a video of Yarden doing some kind of sexual act. And when I talked to Yarden about it, she told me that yes, she has been online doing online camming. Like I was worried about it in the beginning. She took her pictures and sent them to men for money, for gifts. And one of these men probably sent one of her pictures to her classmates, and it got out. All of the school had it. Every teacher had it. All the parents of the kids in school had it.
That's terrible.
And it was terrible. She was crying. She really had a hard time, and we didn't have anyone to talk with about it because at the time, of course, the police wouldn't do anything about these kind of, about these kind of things. So the only thing I could do is go into meet her class and talk to them about, sending nude pictures and why you shouldn't do it and why you shouldn't shame the victim in such instances. And a few kids from her class stood up and said that it's her fault. It's her fault. She knew what was coming. She took her, naked pictures, so she must have wanted them to get out, and she must have wanted people to look at these pictures. And Yarden was really hurt. She got up, she ran outside of the class. I went after her, and she started screaming at me that I'm not helping enough, that I'm not there enough for her, and she just went out of school. And then the day after that, during one of the classes, suddenly everyone gets a message on their phone, and when they look, they see that all of everyone's nudes, have been sent to everyone. The teacher got the student's nude. The students got the teacher's nudes. The couples, they got someone else's nudes. It was chaos. They started screaming. They started fighting at school. The police came. They had to send everyone home. Parents got their kids nude pictures and videos. And
I have to ask, I have to ask at this point, and I'm sorry if it's too bold a question, but were you also affected by this? Personally? Pardon me if I'm overstepping. It's just...
No. Yeah, of course. Yes, I have. It's a part of the reason why I made this career transformation, because I was fired from the school after this event. They saw me as responsible to whatever happened to Yarden and whatever happened at school. And yeah.
And are you looking for her as well?
Are you still in touch with her?
I wanted to ask if you also feel partly responsible for opening Yarden to this sort of situation, and I heard things a bit differently.
You mean
mind?
I think I did my best. I tried to be there for her. I tried to help her. I did anything I could. Yarden was very troubled, and what happened to her is really sad, is terrible. But in the end, we all have our responsibility, and she chose to do something with her talent that I do not approve of course. And no, for your other questions, I wasn't looking for her. I know she, and also during her being in school, she kind of disappeared in a way and went online more and more. And after that event, I never heard from her for a few years.
For a few years. So, yes, go ahead.
I was wondering, she disappeared from the offline world, but she was online. Like you could see her online or like reach her online, or.
As I said, I wasn't looking for her, so I didn't want to seek her online, but I guess there she was. She felt more comfortable with her friends online, and her social environment was mostly online.
But she had all sorts of different users, identities.
One of the thoughts, if I understand, I mean, Colmena has been voicing this many times, is that she's somehow got involved with or in Desperately Seeking in our community. You say you haven't followed her.
You're an internet witch.
We're wondering how deep, if at all, her involvement is in Desperately Seeking at this point.
So I wanted to show you something that I think might explain and make it more clear if you listen to it very well to answer this question.
That's the file you sent me?
Yeah, it's a story that Yarden wrote. Mm-hmm. But before you show it, I want us to do a short ritual together. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm inviting you and you with us today to do a short Zoom purification ritual, and a ritual that will help us to get out of the frame, because we're in Zoom many hours a day, and being in Zoom is very tiring, and we look at ourselves every day. That might, hurt the way we see ourselves. And also because we use it to a lot of different meetings, then before we do this very special reading, I think that we should purify the Zoom so we can start together from fresh. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Oh, great. Gabi, if you could maybe put us into gallery mode so we can see each other.
We are in gallery mode. I think if...
Yeah, we see you.
I don't know. That has to do probably with the club. I know that on the live stream we are in gallery mode.
Okay.
And you
so
also
in the meantime, I'll just invite the audience, the live audience in here in the venue. I know that you're not currently connected to Zoom, but we still, each and every one of us is looking at the world through a screen. Okay, we're looking at the world through our own frame. So I'm inviting you to do the ceremony with us and purify your own personal frame you're looking through the words from. Okay. So we'll do a series of actions together. I'll tell you what to do, and then you'll do it together with me. It's very simple. Let's start with just taking a deep breath together. And letting the air out slowly. Okay. So we're gonna start by taking our finger and slowly crossing the frame of our Zoom. Yeah, touch your frame. That's great. Okay. Make sure to reach all the corners. Okay. Now we're going to clean our screen. You can imagine that the screen in front of you is physical, and you're going to clean it with your hand. Okay, so just slowly wipe it out. Again, remember the corners. Okay. Now we'll take a deep breath together. Let out the air. Amazing. Okay. Now we want to tell each other, the people that we're talking to on Zoom, that we see each other, that we're here together with them. So we're going to look at the camera and slowly, wait, goes there, just a minute. And slowly, come closer to the camera until all you see is just an eye, okay? We're going to meet, to connect the physical eye and the technological, the digital eye. So slowly, go near the screen. Yes, it's very good. So you can just see the eye. Okay. And now when you can just see the eye, do a circle with your eye. Okay, so you make sure you can see everything. And slowly go back. Okay. And the last action we're going to do together is we're going to cross our hands. Wait, I need to put down the microphone. Touch each other's hands. Costa? Yes. Carmel? Spread your hands so you will touch each other's hands through the sides of your screen. Gabi? Okay. Touch each other's hands, and we'll take a deep breath together. And let the air out again. Okay.
Feel better already.
It's really hard to breathe like this.
The screen is very big and very hard to reach.
Oh, here, look, I'm doing it This without moving even. It's just a matter of perspective, literally.
You're just showing off.
I'm ready, Gabi, if you want to start the file that I sent you before.
Oh yes, of course.
Once upon a time, in an empire on the other side of our oceans, an exceptional child was born to a very powerful ruling family. Exceptional because the child was born between dynasties. One might say a bastard child, but of the wealthy kind. The father belonged to the ruling dynasty, and the mother to the rival dynasty, who was to succeed the throne. Of course, the parents knew nothing of what was to come, nor did they plan this love child. To their misfortune, the emperor got word of the unruly union. In a fit of spite, the emperor launched an unbridled attack on the rival dynasty. So whimsical, so poorly executed was the attack, that it cost the dynasty its seat, and a new dawn had risen in the empire. The father of the child was brutally butchered, the mother banished. Yet, out of pity, her father, the successor, granted his daughter one last wish. Please, spare the child. But born on the cusp of two great generations, the child was neither here nor there. As privileged as the child was constantly reminded of their outsider position. This reminder bore the vilest of forms, an open secret to all men close to power. The child would be passed around for the men to have their darkest, most twisted ways. But there was one speck of hope, born of the child's terrible misfortune. On one of those awful nights, exhausted and hurting, the child dreams. A reading session is interrupted when a butterfly lands next to the scroll on the ground. The butterfly flaps its wings, and a low hum, a vibration follows. Oddly enough, the flap first echoes from the other room. It echoes in reverse. The child raises their head and rushes to see, but instead of going into the adjacent room, the child stands in the doorway. There, on the cusp, between both rooms, looking to the right and to the left, two mirrored identical butterflies stand next to two mirrored identical scrolls. The scrolls are somewhat distant, yet close enough to read. And this is where the child stays forever. That is all the dream had to it. But upon waking up, the child never slept again. Not the way we sleep. The choice to stay between both dream rooms forever made echoes outside. Just like the two rooms, the child would wake up to one world, only to find out it was a mirror image of the other. There was no longer dream or waking life. There were only echoes, iterations, interpretations. Present yet estranged from the kingdom. Physically and emotionally tormented by the men who ran it. Discarded by their weary power-hogging women. The child's mind had somehow collapsed into the void between one's own self-image and reality, in what today we would call the space between the digital and the virtual. This is the vantage point of the generational cusp. These are children born between cohorts, classes, and genders, stuck in the gears and then spat out, in the shifts of power and technology, residing between yesterdays and tomorrows, born to the longest now. But CUSPERZ ability to see beyond space and time is tainted with the rage that engendered this gift. And one day this rage is bound to consume. What happened to the child is unknown. A bastard's fate is hardly ever documented. But the primordial Casper had started a dynasty of its own, and one day this dynasty too shall rise. Not all Caspers suffer such torment as the primordial did, but those who do carry the ancient curse of clairvoyance, a rage incarnate. We secretly yearn for expert explanations that pit the young against the old. We seek purpose in these grand generational narratives, but we have forgotten the source. Apocalypses always rise from in between. Old rigid orders are brought to their knees, not by battles fought on their cladded soil, but by the water of life that rises from its cracks. We all know this world is doomed. It will soon perish in the rising tidal waves of our fathers' sins, in the collapse of our institutions, and the networks we use to circulate the poison that will drown us. But the legend also tells of a well somewhere, in the place where that ancient kingdom once felt, on the other side of our globe. It is a well so deep that only a Casper can truly fathom it. As the water rises, spews, and submerges, a Casper incarnate will slash through the soil, crossing space and time, racing from the bottom to the top of the ancient well, crossing it from east to west. If, and only if, the Casper emerges successfully on top, at the far end of the world, a gateway will be ensured for posterity, a seed of a life beyond, an alpha which masters its omega, an end to the lineage that sold off the earth, an abolisher of all trends, finally a creation beyond plain remix. Our species will be succeeded by that new sound we are looking for.
In fact, as you being this spiritual witch, I find it very hard to believe you have no idea where or what JJ is, and somehow I also feel you and Gabriel are in cahoots. How come this story was not sent to me? I invited you to come. I knew you talked to Gabriel because he's like doing all the production things and made it happen, but
No. I followed your lead, Kamel, and I got the materials from Yifaat, and I just played them. I had no part in this, and I
you just didn't think to send it to me. And
you just told me to get in touch with Yifaat, and this is just a slideshow presentation, and I didn't even look at the file. We agreed with the festival that things would be running through one account. She sent me the file, and I played it. Honestly. But, yeah, so, sorry, again, you twist my words, and you do it a lot. I understand that you're under a lot of stress, but Wait a minute. You said you haven't. How is this connected to what you said that this would somehow help us understand? How does this connect it to desperately seeking? I don't. And you also said that you have been in touch with her in the recent years. You said you haven't seen her in a couple.
Well, yeah, okay. I think I did my part in here today, and I think Yarden can now talk and explain everything.
Excuse me?
Yes, don't you get it? Didn't you get the story?
Kiki? What?
What?
I don't understand.
What the fuck?
What does this have to do with Kiki?
Yifaat, what the fuck is going on?
To get the true nature of the CUSPER, you have to look in between, right?
Yeah.
So her name is also hidden in between.
What do you mean?
J is the letter between I and K.
JJ?
Hey,
Is that really you?
do you want it to be?
Of course. I miss you so much. I don't want to sleep because I can't bear just seeing you there. And it's too hard not to dream of you. And I find you in me, but not always. It's hard. And you're the only one who understands how hard it is.
Carmel, don't you know? We're all connected in the virtual space.
Can you open your camera, Kiki?
Why would I do that?
So we can finally see you. I mean,
Is that necessary
do you
for your
go?
entire thing here?
It's just a lot nicer, I think. I mean, come on. Do you go by?
I want to know how you look today. I haven't seen you for such a long time.
Well,
I just want to know it's really you.
the elephant in your room.
Do you go by Kiki today? Like, is this Are you trolling?
Maybe.
Why?
Hmm.
Can I say something?
Sure, Guzde, go right ahead.
I'm just glad that you're here and good. I guess you're good. Like you're alive. I didn't know what happened after what I heard from Yifaat today. I'm happy that you're here. And I think this is pretty funny that you actually been with us throughout the whole thing. It's pretty funny.
Well, yeah, I've always been here. Been listening. Took a little peek. Played around. You know?
Yeah, but like, how come you didn't signal us? You know, I wasn't the only one looking for you at the beginning. It just, you know, became something else afterwards.
Well, some things, Carmel, are not meant to be looked for. But I've always been here.
And why are they here?
What's the point of all of this? I mean, we're.
I don't know. You told me to appear.
I mean, you kind of. I don't know how to. I just know a lot of people have been hurt, and we are kind of climbing up the walls in the past year, trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
I've been taking to be questioned by the police, and there's been articles.
That was funny, right?
I mean, just so that we understand, what exactly is the degree of connection between what kind of operation are you running here, and is this really connected to what we're experiencing here everywhere? Because I don't know about you people, but in Leipzig, the ground is actually shaking.
Yeah.
Where can we hear the sound? That
I hear it everywhere, but I don't know.
Where can we really hear it?
Yeah, it was always there. It was only a matter of time before you heard it too.
No, we heard it always, but not that deep.
I mean, people are dying. You've ruined lives.
Are they dying or ascending? Those are two things.
I know.
I kind of feel like we're in an intervention. And we do have professionals in the house. So
I can go if you want. I mean,
No.
I mean, you can open. We also have Dr. Ethan here, and we of course
shit,
have,
Dr. Ethan, Professor Dr. Ethan, big fan. Wow.
JJ sounds different.
yeah, it's your birthday party. Happy birthday. So what happens next? Why did we do this whole thing? What wait a minute.
Does this mean that this is the end of Desperately Seeking because, Carmel, you finally found what you're looking for?
Is this what you were looking for?
I mean,
I need to understand how to make other people not avoid, because what happened when I try to avoid this is when you went away, when I didn't want to listen to the sound because it got too deep. I avoided it, so I went away because it was too hard. So how can we help people listen to it, hear it, but not, because not all can hear it, but those who can.
Is this connected to why you did this whole thing? Wait, first of all, who invited who? Because now I'm confused. Why is Yifaat in Jerusalem in the first place? Who's behind? Yifaat, what actually went down here?
So yes, Carmel talked to me at the beginning, and I didn't think that I need to come. But then Yarden reached out to me, and as you can see, she's still doing what she did in high school and using her powers to, not for good things necessarily. And
and you don't feel in any way part of this, you being this internet witch. Don't you think that you indulge in some manner, allowing her to go that deep, and
Allowing her.
Yeah, why are you in Jerusalem in the first place?
that is the place that is we're all trying to avoid, and Jerusalem is one of the like all of the checklists of the reasons why not to be there.
You don't get it. She told me to come here.
Who?
She threatened me
JJ?
to come here today.
Why?
Threatening is a big word, you know.
Are you planning something?
That depends. I needed to complete the cycle, you know. She just helped me. She was a facilitator.
What's that?
What cycle?
What cycle? What cycle? You're looking at it. What do you think is happening?
I'm just asking myself, why did you think this is the best way to say hi?
Hi.
Like, you can understand this is very traumatic for me.
Wait a minute, are you like on board with this whole apocalyptic thing? This whole CUSPER thing? Is that the cycle? I mean, are you so what? So
everything is a
like
cycle.
what?
Everything is a cycle.
No, but
I don't think the story was just a story. Was it, Yarden?
That's the thing.
So you believe in
She
it?
needs to be the answer. She has to.
So let me get this straight. So you hacked Carmel's community in order to radicalize youths to push forward what we're seeing here, and you needed Yifaat to come to Jerusalem in order to do this incantation and something with this running girl CUSPER thing.
First of all, desperately seeking was never Carmel's from the first place.
Because you went away.
Yeah, she did not create this community. I was here from the start. You guys assumed I left. My physical self left, but I was always here. I was always listening.
And first.
Second, I'd like to thank Yifaat. She really did help me here.
So what? So there's this. We're on the precipice of the end of the world, and there's a young girl running right now inside of a well, or something like that. Are you?
Maybe.
Are you the? Is it an allegory or?
Not a well, or is it? It's pretty wet out there now, isn't it?
Actually, okay. So this happened when this whole thing happened like a decade ago. So that would make you mid-20s.
25.
So that makes you a CUSPER as well, right? So that positions you somewhere between Y and Z.
Yep.
Okay. So I get it now, right? So you're like the CUSPER incarnate. Okay, I get it. Okay. Great. So and we're supposed to buy this, and you're just.
I'm not expecting you to buy anything. I'm just the messenger here. I can go as fast as I came.
Messenger for what?
Matter.
I guess we can open the conversation to the.
Can I ask something?
Sure.
Curiosity to JJ or Kiki or I don't know. Hi, I'm Gigi.
Hi.
Have you ever been any of the workshops with Gorm? Have you been traveling also?
I could say yes. I took a different form there, so you might not recognize this very unmoisturized look I'm sporting right now.
Yeah.
But yes, I was in Gorm's workshops. He's very funny, I would say.
Yeah.
You take him seriously? I don't.
And
I like
I'm glad you're on board with me on that.
yeah, so I guess this is if anyone from the audience would like to jump in, I don't know what the situation is in Jerusalem right now, or Ethan, if you want to give us your reading.
Yes, Ethan.
I mean,
Well,
as an expert on cult-like behavior.
yes, as I mentioned in earlier sessions, I'm looking into the
Stream
instead of.
experiencing.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So the will to power, I'm looking at the will to unpower, the will for weakness as a motive, as a drive behind this cultural what drives this new maybe this bass, right? This music, this underground shaking that you have been describing. And I think, in a way, because I mentioned it before, you were kind of upset about it, but I think we all kind of want to be victims in this story. Something deep inside of us, we're kind of striving to portray ourselves, to be able to portray ourselves as the victims in this story. And this is also basically what we're working on as therapists in my department, in my university. We're working on different ways in which we can confirm to our patients that they are indeed victims of the situation, because we realize that this is the actual empowering force behind any given situation nowadays. And I think, Carmel, in a way, you've just received it from JJ. She gave you the thing that you were after. She traumatized you, and I think that was
what you wanted, Carmel?
What?
I'm not saying that it's a given that you consciously wanted it, but I'm thinking it might seem terrible now, but in a week from now you might feel a bit empowered after having gone through this experience of severe weakness, misunderstanding, feeling lost, trauma, and so on. It can only grow from there, I think.
If we're still here in a week. Gozda?
When Dr. Rozelinsky was speaking, I realized something like, so will to power, will to weakness, somehow it's the age of non-agency, it's the age of weakness or something, like people are striving or going to that direction because it's overwhelming. So are you suggesting, I don't know if you're suggesting anything, but do you think it's the answer is that if we don't want to be weak, we should join in, as in, because apocalypse is inevitable and we should just
gonna go under soon.
join the apocalypse, or is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's that's if you're trying to portray yourself as a victim of a situation, then imagining the apocalypse is probably the ultimative act. in that direction. I'm thinking that there is something very empowering in that, because you also imagine yourself as part of a community of victims.
But actually,
Someday
no.
when you imagine,
Like, I think if you change your perspective, when you're causing it, you're not the victim. When you're causing the apocalypse, when you're firing it up.
well,
So
it
you
goes
are going to be
outside.
eventually a victim of it.
this is all allegory. The ground isn't shaking. Water is not spouting out the ground of various sites right now. We are not going under, and we're all just really cool. I mean, people in Jerusalem who actually took a risk to come outside, they're just, it's just a collective delusion. I don't get it.
Oh no, Gabby, you're all
not an
wrong.
allegory.
The
It's not
water
an
is
allegory. I'm
spouting.
just saying that it was caused by people, one or many, that wanted to have this experience, that wanted to be on the victim's side of the situation and couldn't in any other way. So they had to cause something that would absolutely and undoubtedly would put them on that end.
There I thought the problem was
I'm sorry to interrupt you. So if I understand you correctly, in order for us to understand things truly, we must put ourselves through that, because if not, we're avoiding. And when I started to avoiding, not listening, not hearing, JJ went away, but she was actually here and I was not seeing her. So
I'm saying you chose to not see her because of how traumatic this experience was for you.
And there I thought the problem was always capitalism. Yifaat, do you have a...
Yes, I can offer a different approach. I think that maybe Carmel looked for something she really wanted to find, but in the end, of course, like a lot of times happened, the thing she found wasn't really the thing that she needed. She found Yarden, and Yarden is changed. She's no longer the person that Carmel thought she will be or she remembers. Then probably Yarden is not really the right answer for you. The answer is whatever you can do. We all have our own responsibility to take care of ourselves right now. We're in the middle of this huge global event, and we can all just use our own energies and the energies of the internet to just straighten our own powers and to take care of ourselves at the moment.
So things will be more balanced, maybe.
Anyone in Jerusalem want to comment?
If you want to comment, our audience, you're welcome to do so.
By the way, I just realized that, like Carmel, now Yifaat said it, that you were looking for JJ, and she's not what you expect her to be. Nothing stays the same. You cannot expect to find what you were looking for, even if in some shape or form you find that thing that you're looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
seeking is a faulty action in that sense. You actually...
But it's hard sometimes to simplify things, because a person or a time in your life, it's a representation of something, and it's so deep, and you experience so deeply together. So you only know it together that way. And when you drift apart and things become, I understand that some things may need to be looked at more, looking, and not something so emotional, more passionate, like seeking But if we want to go that way together,
I can say
how can we go there?
I can say that, with the onset of the pandemic age, when COVID broke back then, I do feel that a transition started. The word hybrid is being thrown around so much, or used to at least.
Fusion.
And maybe the hybrid is not really an event or a media spectacle as much as it is this hybrid that we are experiencing. Maybe, Yifaat, I understand that you are tasked, or see yourself as tasked, with the mission to bind the virtual and the digital, but maybe what we're looking for is not a binder. Maybe we're looking for, I don't know, this new type of entity that's exactly on the cusp, that's neither here nor there. Maybe that's the thing that you're looking for. You're looking for that thing that's in between. Maybe we need to redefine concepts of home, concepts of location, concepts of belonging.
That is the space in between the spaces.
It is very para everything, but it's almost like believing in reincarnation. Because again, I don't know what's going to happen next week. I don't know how much time we have, but sort of the soul can surpass the physical, not in the virtual sense that we know. I don't know.
But that is what in the beginning we were thinking of, when we hooked up, started doing these workshop things.
Yifaat?
I think there's a major difference between trying to connect people while we're maintaining our individual personalities, and just eliminating these personalities and trying to combining the online and the physical. But I think that we are on this very special occasions that we do have this live audience here today and you online. So we have a rare opportunity to use all these energies to try to mend this crack that is happening. And maybe if we'll do it together, we can at least know what's going on, or at least mend something in this very turn up universe.
Yeah, but it assumes that we want to mend the crack. You assume that.
You don't?
You shouldn't.
Not.
I
wrong.
I think like this is what I was talking about, the thing that we are trying to do, like me and Gabriel hooked up. We're doing the workshop, and here also in our Zooms we do like this chant. So maybe we can do that. That is another thing that we are like thinking.
Like come together. That's
Yeah.
like a suggestion.
That,
Okay.
so
you have fun with your chant, Carmel.
what?
You go have fun with your chanting now. You can do whatever you want with Desperately Seeking now. But I really oblige you. The water is rising. You can either stay in your little fish bowl, or you can be a big fish like me and jump out to the sea and be with everyone else.
Carmel, Yarden is just distracting you from doing what you started to do, okay? Just...
Gomen. I'll go now.
She's a very
Thank you for
disturbed young
listening.
woman, okay? You don't need to listen to her. She's not exactly what you're looking for. You know that.
Yes, I am. Bye.
Okay, then. Guess we do the chant.
Thought you would please stay for that. Everyone, please have your mic open and repeat after me. I've climbed the highest mountains.
I've
Climbed the highest mountains.
I've ran through the fields.
I've
ran through the fields.
Only to be with you.
Only to be with you.
I've ran and crawled.
I've
I ran and crawled.
I've scaled city walls.
I've scaled city walls.
Only to be with you.
Only to be with you.
But I still haven't found what I'm looking for.